Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Why not wear the victory hat for one more day? Soak in it a little bit longer. How you doing, guys? Welcome back. Happy Friday, October 3rd. And the Yankees are now in Toronto, and they are going to be working out today in anticipation for their Saturday matchup as they kick off the American League Division Series against the AL East champion. Hate saying that, but it's true. Toronto Blue Jays. And the reason that it's true is because Toronto has played really well head-to-head against the Yankees this year. Now, does that mean that they will continue to dominate in the postseason? No, it does not. This is a different team than the one the Yankees went to Toronto with earlier this season. I feel like they're coming together as a more cohesive unit, and I personally feel really good about this series, especially if the Yankees can win Game 1. I don't know if you guys could sleep last night. I was too wired. So, I am dragging today. I am absolutely useless as a human being today. I can barely keep my eyes open. I finished the show. I stayed up and watched the highlights over and over again. I watched the clubhouse celebration, which was pretty wild, pretty ruckus for a 3-game series for advancing to the ALDS. I watched every ounce of coverage on like the S Network, the MLB Network. I watched all my competitors. I watched Francesa. I didn't get to bed till probably 3:30 in the morning, and then I got up at 5:30 because I was thinking about it again, and I was ready to rock and roll. So I still haven't gone back and rewatched the whole game, but I'm sure at some point I will. But I got serious Roger Clemens versus the Mariners in 2000 vibes when he struck out 15. And I think he threw 138 pitches in that game. I mean, that guy was an animal. That guy was absolutely built different. We got a great super chat, or not, or just a chat here. It says CAM31. So it looks like camel. And he says camel. That's the new nickname. I absolutely love that. That might be a good t-shirt idea. But at worst, Cam can get that as his custom license plate on the Lamborghini that he's going to buy with his World Series share. And lost in the performance of Cam Schlittler is just how great the Yankees played baseball in this series. They didn't hit any home runs yesterday and still won. I didn't know they were allowed to do that. And at the rate they have hit home runs, you have to think that at least statistically, there's a bunch of them coming. And they're going to a dome where the weather's going to be, controlled. And I feel like you might see some home runs here coming up in this ALDS against the Blue Jays. Now, best-of-5 series are extremely stressful and extremely difficult to win. But I feel like the Yankees' momentum that they gained from last night could really carry them going forward. Back in 2004, when the Red Sox came back against the Yankees, I heard one sports writer say that the Red Sox, that is, could have kept playing until December or January and not lost a series. That's the kind of momentum they had from charging up to win that series and coming back. And that's exactly how I feel the Yankees are going to take this. They are completely pumped up. They are riding high. And they are going to go into Toronto feeling good about themselves. Now, for years, the Yankees have had amazing talent on their roster. And that's true again this year. In fact, I think they have more talent this year than they had in 2024 when they went to the World Series and lost in 5. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later because we do have a call that's somewhat related to that. But when you have great talent on the roster, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a great team, right? You can be a great collection of players and still come up short. For the last few weeks of the season and for the last 2 nights, we have seen this collection of great talent come together as a great, cohesive team, a great unit. And I'm just in love with this Yankees team right now. They have reignited my hopes. You know, there was a time this year where I thought the Yankees had no chance. No chance. But even the bullpen, which has not been great, has shown some signs of life. I mean, David Bednar, I trust him in the ninth inning. Don't you guys trust him in the ninth inning? I know he gave up a run in this series, but I trust him. Most of the time, he's going to be good. He's going to lock it down. He's going to throw strikes. Camilo Doval looked really good at the end of the season. We have yet to really see him. I'd imagine in a 5-game set, you're going to have to see him. We didn't see Yarbrough. We didn't see Tim Hill. These guys have got some rest. So the performance by Schlittler not only won the Yankees a series, but it gave the bullpen some much-needed rest headed into a series where they're going to have to probably be used quite a bit. And you've got Luis Gil on the mound in Game 1. Now, he's not exactly known for being a strike thrower, but when he is throwing strikes and when he is on his game, he can be every bit as dominating as Cam Schlittler or Max Fried or Carlos Rodon. He's got that kind of arm. 100-plus miles an hour, devastating changeup, good slide piece, rookie of the year. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good going into this series. I do expect Toronto to be extremely prepared and have one of the more hostile environments that the Yankees have seen in recent years, probably comparable to what we saw when the Yankees were in Houston. Except, not only do they hate our team, they hate our country. So, I mean, even the World Series in LA didn't feel as hostile, right? It was a lot of celebrities and stuff, and there were a lot of Yankee fans out there. But the other ALDS, and I'm already starting to think about the Yankees' path to the World Series now because I do think they're going to beat Toronto, is the Tigers and the Mariners. And I have to admit that I'm rooting for that series to go 5 games and for both teams to have to use their number ones twice. Because the harder they are on each other, the easier it is on the team that's going to play them next, which I hope, and I sincerely believe now, is going to be the New York Yankees. But the Yankees do have to get there first. Man, I just can't stop thinking about last night, though. That was one of the more enjoyable experiences I've had as a baseball fan, as a Yankees fan, as a human being. And I know a lot of you, judging by the calls we got, feel the same way. And this team, it reminds me a little bit of that 2017 team that I felt should have gone all the way if the Astros had not cheated them out of a American League championship. That team had amazing chemistry. I mean, you're talking Frazier, Didi, Chad Green, David Robertson, Gary Sanchez at the height of his career. I know it was early in his career, but it was his best year. You got Aaron Judge coming off of 52 home runs as a rookie. It was an amazing season. Brian says, Fried should be able to pitch Game 2 and Game 5, so if Rodon can win Game 3, they should be able to win the series. Agree. And I like the Yankees in Game 1. Even with Luis Gil, who's not a supreme strike thrower, I like their offense in Game 1. So, Brian, I'm feeling good about this. Feeling good. And last year, when the Yankees went to the World Series, the thought was it wasn't really that difficult of a road to the series. This year, it is going to be very difficult, right? Because you had to go through Boston. Now you got to go through Toronto. But all that talk about not being able to beat an AL East team is over. And it's definitely over if you beat the Blue Jays, because the AL East is done. And the real AL East champion will be decided in this series, not by the tiebreaker. It will be decided in this series. Who is the king of the East? And it's called the American League, right? I think we should take it down. Not the Canadian League. This year, being without Juan Soto, being without Garrett Cole, being without Luis Gil for half the season, being without Giancarlo Stanton for a couple of months, nobody thought the Yankees could win 94 games, and they did. They did. But you could argue that right now, they are a better roster, head to toe, than they were in 2024. Sure, Soto and Judge was a generational combination. But You add in Ben Rice. You add in Cody Bellinger, a much improved Jazz Chisholm, a comfortable Jazz Chisholm, his first full season with the Yankees. Trent Grisham is much more dangerous this year. I know he didn't have necessarily a great series. He had a hit or two last night, but I'm feeling like this roster is much more complete. Now, the bullpen, they are an Achilles heel. We're going to need somebody to step up. I think Bednar could be that guy. I think you could see Will Warren be that guy at some point. You might see him called on to get some big outs. Ethan Ahern says Judge is going to mash in Toronto. Yes, I agree. 100%. But in the postseason, guys step up. I mean, we saw that last night with Cam Schlittler. You saw it with McMahon with the big catch. And that's something that the Yankees didn't do a lot of last year. They didn't win games with big moments other than home runs. You saw it twice in this series. Two guys who didn't get hits in the game. Jazz Chisholm with the play up the middle in Game 2 to stop a run, and then making a run with his legs on the bases. And then last night, McMahon with the catch. I don't think he had any hits last night. He might have. I could be wrong on that. Made the catch over the railing. Big baseball plays. I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be optimistic about headed into this series. A lot to be optimistic about. And as we all know, in the playoffs, pitching is the most important thing. And right now, the Yankees have 3 legitimate starters that we can count on in a big spot. All 3 of them. And I would rank them Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Carlos Rodon, honestly. Brian Bashman says, Toronto has no lefties on their pitching staff, only trash ones in their bullpen. So look for Bellinger, Jazz, Ben Rice, Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham could be a guy to watch in this series. And if you're pitching around Judge, you're pitching around Stanton, you're being careful with those guys, you're going to have to pitch to one of those lefties with runners on base. This is one of those series where you could see the 2-run home run decide something, a 3-run home run, break a game open. You could see one of those series where the Yankees hit a lot of dingers. Austin Wells could be dangerous. And I want to give a shout out to Anthony Volpe. He has really stepped up his game this series, this postseason, playing with confidence. Wells contributed last night. Paul Goldschmidt trying to win a ring on possibly his way out of the sport over the next year or two. Hit .600 in this series. Continues to absolutely rake against lefties. He could be somebody that you see in one of those positions late in the game against one of their trash lefties come in and break a game open with a big hit. We'll see how it shakes out. Let's get to some voicemails.
It's just a reaction.
First call.
Hey, Derek. Isn't it crazy that guys like DJ LeMahieu, Adam Ottavino, Marcus Stroman, Jake Bird, all were part of this team? We've just come so far, and this team has just become so much more athletic and electric, and I'm all for it. Really enjoying it. Appreciate it. Bye.
I just got a text, by the way, as that was coming in from Eric Kratz, and it said, I disagreed with your comment on foul territory yesterday. I think Boone is a greater manager than Alex Cora, and it showed last night. And I think that as Yankees fans, we are tough on Boone, and he outmanaged Cora last night for sure. But appreciate it, Kratzy. So I don't think he would mind me reading that. I think he knows I'm a public speaker. But here's Frankie Baseball. I haven't listened to this yet.
Derek, it's Frankie. Fuck Boston! Ooh. Adios, Red Sox. Enjoy Cancun, all right? 22 years after the last time we've beaten the Red Sox in a postseason series with Aaron Boone's walk-off home run to send us to the World Series, Cam Schlittler was the one that carried us tonight, which means that in 15 years, Cam Schlittler will be the manager of the New York Yankees. But that's for then. What a victory tonight. Great job, Bronx Bombers. No matter what happens the rest of the season, we beat the Red Sox in the postseason. That is glorious. And hey, Canada, get ready. You're next, bitches.
Oh, Frankie. Frankie Baseball. Frankie, you got a lot of fans in the chat. It occurred to me, Frankie's kind of a younger guy, and one of my other co-hosts, Terrence, kind of a younger guy. Haven't really experienced the Yankees beating the Red Sox in the playoffs. There's a lot of younger fans. If you're under, 25 years old, you probably don't remember the Yankees beating the Red Sox in the playoffs ever. So last night was big.
Derek, the last starting pitcher the Yankees developed was Andy Pettitte. Could Cam Schlittler be the next? Great win tonight. Goodbye.
Well, I wouldn't say that Pettitte was the last starting pitcher they've developed. Luis Severino was pretty good. Michael King has been pretty good. I would say that Andy Pettitte, being a borderline Hall of Famer, he's probably the best starting pitcher they've developed in the last quarter century. Well, it's more than quarter century now. It was like 30 some odd years ago he made his debut. I guess 30 years ago, 1995. Holy shit. Guys, I just felt really old. 1995 was 30 years ago. Wow.
Look, obviously I'm excited about this year. I feel like the Yankees will go far, but I cannot stop myself about thinking about next year. I mean, if I just look and I think Garrett Cole, righty, Max Fried, lefty, Schlittler, righty, Rodon, lefty, Heel, righty. I mean, how is that not the most electrifying rotation in all of baseball? I mean, barring major injuries, I could definitely see them winning 100 games next year. I mean, they should have almost won 100 games this year if it was for Devin Williams blowing a whole bunch. And now it's a rotation that featured Clark Schmidt and Will Warren, which they'll also be great depth pieces. But, man, I cannot wait to see what happens next year.
Yeah. That rotation could be absolutely berserk next year. I mean, you consider Cole coming back. I'm trying to think who's available as a relief pitcher they could sign. I don't think they're going to bring back Devin Williams, and he has pitched better recently. But I think that they want to address the underbelly of the bullpen. They're going to have the starting pitcher. And, it might be one of those situations where you develop those guys internally. You got Elmer Rodriguez-Cruz. You got Carlos Legrand. I mean, maybe you take some of these great arms and you turn them into relief pitchers. We got a comment here from Doug who mentions Phil Hughes. Yeah, he was a starting pitcher the Yankees developed, right? I mean, I wouldn't say he was great, but he was a starting pitcher they developed. If another team is willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for you, then you developed that pitcher.
One thing you have to know is that Schlittler is the first pitcher in baseball history to pitch 8 scoreless innings, strike out 12, and not have any walks. So he's the first guy in all of baseball history to do that.
I think Mary Beth called in with the same comment last night. Impressive. I mean, what we saw was legitimately historic. And I was supposed to have a buddy over tonight. We were going to sit out by the fire, but we're going to postpone that by a couple of days. And so tonight, I'm going to probably rewatch the game. And my wife wants to watch Hocus Pocus, which I've never seen. So we're going to watch that, and then I'm going to watch the game, put the game on in bed.
Hey, go Yankees. Amazing game, but I don't agree with you on that hit to left field with Judge. That came off the finger of the glove. It should have been a base hit as it was ruled, not an error. Come on. You know better at baseball than that. Go Yankees.
Yeah. I think it should have been caught. I'm not saying it should have necessarily been called an error. I'm saying it should have been caught, right? But who cares? Yankees won.
Look at this potential starting pitching staff. Fried, Schlittler, Roden, Cole, and Gill.
Yes, notable
That's
Yankee
amazing.
starter, Roden and Gill. Here's Jeff.
Hey, Derek. This is Jeff from Pennsylvania. I got a voicemail for you today, Derek. Might take a few extra minutes, so bear with me. I've been with you since you started NYY Recaps, and I don't think I've missed one of your shows. I've been a Yankee fan since I was 9 years old, and my cousin took me to Yankee Stadium. I'm 70 years old now, and I grew up in Miami, so my teams were the Yankees and the Redskins, as back then we didn't have a team. We didn't have professional sports in Miami. So my heroes were Mickey Mantle and Sonny Jurgensen. But as I grew older and the heroes changed to guys like Reggie and Derek Jeter, and, you know, now they're Aaron Judge. I've seen a lot of Yankee games. I've seen a lot of Yankee seasons. I've been with them through the good times and the bad times, and after watching the game last night, it was one of the sweetest things I've watched in a long time.
Oh, man, appreciate the call. Great call there, Jeff.
What's up, Derek? What an absolute massive win. As somebody who's about 20, I have really never seen the Yankees own anyone in the playoffs other than the AL Central. Besides Oakland, I think it's been more than a decade since the Yankees beat anyone other than that division, but now it is different. What moves me tonight about Cam Schlittler, it was just that there's always those couple guys on Boston, all of our division rivals, that aren't very good but just own us, and Schlittler just turned him into paste tonight. Watching him strike out Abreu specifically with just fastballs right down the middle, just swung straight through him,
And Narvaez.
just made me happier than I can really remember being as a Yankees fan in the postseason. And honestly, I think we have a good chance at Toronto. Anyway, great show. Hope we can have some nice voicemails in the future after we sweep Toronto. Let's go, Yankees.
Appreciate the call, my friend. And the other thing about Cam Schlittler that we haven't talked about is his body language. Like, he was pumped up, but he was in control of his emotions. There are guys like Luis Heel and early on in his career, Nathan Eovaldi and others who throw hard, but, either get hit or give up walks or whatever. Not everybody who throws 100, right, is unhittable. What makes someone that much more special when they throw that kind of heat is when they also throw strikes and they pitch, right? And they control their emotions. Like, he was the whole package last night. It was controlled aggression. He was walking off the mound and F Boston, right? He was pumped, but he was channeling it. He channeled that fierce competitiveness, the body language. We talk sometimes about guys who don't show good body language, right? I mean, go back and watch one of Jeff Weaver's starts as a Yankee, or Sonny Gray when he was at with the Yankees and he wasn't confident. And to be fair, he did have Gary Sanchez behind the plate, and the Yankees changed the way he threw, but he didn't look confident out there. Cam Schlittler knew last night that nobody could touch him, and he didn't even think about coming out of that game. What a night.
I just want to say that this game was incredible. I was expecting a few goofs. This is the Yankees we're talking about. You know how it is. We all know the story, but Cam Schlittler was phenomenal. I'm at a loss for words. I just want to say the future is looking very bright for the Yankees.
Appreciate the call. Here's Angel.
How you doing? This is Angel from Long Island, currently living in San Antonio, Texas. I just want to say this was a crazy series. Finally, Boone did what no one would think he would do. Actually pay attention to the flow of the game and let the pitcher pitch. Great time. Go Yankees. down with the Red Sox. Love to see the rivalry back.
Yeah, it was great that Boone let him come out for the 8th. I thought they were going to pull him out for the 7th, and it was crazy because it was basically the same situation that Boone faced in Game 1 with Max Fried. Max Fried was at 102 pitches, right? And Boone took him out of there, even though he was pitching pretty well. And I admitted after the game and the next day, I was kind of lined up with Boone, but the difference was that Fried looked like he was maybe tiring out a bit. Schlittler was at 100 pitches, but he didn't look tired at all. Schlittler looked like he could have thrown another 50 pitches, right? I mean, he could have had one of those starts like Cole had a couple of years ago where he threw 138 pitches. This is a big, strong dude, and he was bringing it, and he was just miraculous.
Listen, it all boils down to, do I buy a ticket for this next series if we're going to win a game? Are we going to make it a game 4? Do I bother buying a ticket?
That's a stupid call. Here's another call.
Yeah, hi Derek. Steve calling from Maine. I was all ready to send you a recording of crickets, and that would be it, just the crickets. You know what I'm talking about, the Aaron Judge situation. I'll admit he had a decent series.
He had 364.
But for gosh sakes, can we get this guy to hit some long balls? I mean, I don't know how we got through it without Giancarlo or Judge hitting a long ball in that series. But, my God, we needed Iglesias' song in the background. Oh my God, what a game. I've been watching baseball for half a century. I've never seen a game like that. It gives me chills. I'll never see another one like it. All righty. That is all for today.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I think Judge and Stanton are ticking time bombs who are going to go boom in Canada.
Super excited to see the Yankees beat the Red Sox. I didn't expect that at all. But I'm still worried about Aaron Judge. You know, he hasn't hit any home runs. I know he's got on base, but I don't know if we can beat the Blue Jays without Aaron Judge being MVP Aaron Judge. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel worried. I don't think we're going to beat the Blue Jays, to be honest. What do we need to do to beat the Blue Jays?
Got to score more runs than they do in 3 out of the 5 games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you tomorrow. So I'm going to have Jonna Perlinger on at some point, a few hours before the game, and then obviously post-game show, as always, tomorrow evening. We'll see you then. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.